Welcome to our new program today. We are going to tackle one of the most common pronunciation mistakes that even really advanced English learners make, and it's all about two little letters, ed. You probably think you know all the rules, but trust me, there's a secret that might just change everything about the way you speak. So let me just ask you this straight up. Do your past tense verbs sound a little off? A little unnatural? Well, there's a really good chance that you're actually overpronouncing the ed endings on your regular past tense verbs. It's a super subtle habit, but you know what? Fixing it is one of the biggest keys to getting that more natural American-sounding accent. And here's the thing. You definitely learned the rules in a textbook. And look, those rules are technically correct, but you weren't told the whole story. You weren't told how Americans actually talk in fast, connected, everyday conversations. So let's start with a mistake you might not even know you're making. So this hidden mistake, it isn't about not knowing the rules. Not at all. It's actually about applying them too perfectly, too rigidly, in situations where native speakers just don't. It really comes down to the difference between speaking by the book and speaking with a natural, easy flow. Okay, here it is, the big reveal. We're all taught to say, I worked for them, right? With that really clear T sound at the end. But in the real world, you'll hear Americans say, I work for them. It's like the ed sound just vanished into thin air. So how is that even possible? All right, before we get to the secret sauce, let's do a quick review of the foundation. Those 3 official rules you absolutely learned in class. It's really important to have these fresh in our minds because the secret we're about to uncover is basically an exception that builds right on top of them. You remember these, right? If the verb ends in an unvoiced sound, like a k, the ed sounds like a t, so we get worked. If it ends in a voiced sound, like n, the ed sounds like a d, like an opened. And of course, if the verb already ends in a t or d, you add a whole extra syllable, id, like in needed. Pretty simple, right? Okay, now for the fun part, the real-world secret. We're going to focus on that very first rule, the one where ed is supposed to sound like a t, because this is where all the magic happens in natural, everyday speech. So here's the key. There's this linguistic pattern in American English called the dropped T. Basically, when a T sound gets squeezed between 2 other consonant sounds, it often just gets dropped to make the phrase flow better. It's why exactly sounds more like exactly, or just because sounds like just because. This isn't a mistake, you guys. It's a feature of fluent, efficient speech. So, if this sound can just disappear, you're probably asking, well, when do I drop it and when do I say it? You need a simple pattern to follow. And guess what? It's actually way simpler than you think. Let's break it down right now. Here it is. This is your roadmap. If the very next word starts with a consonant, like in watched the movie, you drop the T sound. It becomes watch the movie. Now, if the next word starts with a vowel, like in walked a lot, you do the opposite. You link the T sound over. It becomes walked a lot. And finally, if the verb is just sitting there at the end of the sentence, you say a very light, soft T sound. I walked. Okay, let's practice the most important one, dropping that T before a consonant. Go ahead and say these out loud with me. Let that final sound go. I watched the best movie, he kicked the ball, she pushed the button. Feels a lot smoother, doesn't it? You're listening to Mastering Flawless English, where we focus on tiny changes that make a huge difference. Now, I have to give you a critical warning here. You can't just drop the sound and leave a big awkward gap. The only reason this works is because you connect the words together so smoothly. I watched the movie. It's all about creating one continuous flow of sound. That connection, that's what makes it sound natural, not lazy. Honestly, flow is everything. And just when you think you've got it, spoken English loves to throw a little curveball. There's another fun little transformation that happens with this T sound, and it creates a totally new sound out of thin air. So get this, when a verb with that T ending is followed by the word you, the T sound and the Y sound, they often fuse together to create a ch sound. So helped you becomes helped you. Have you ever noticed that? Like an I helped you with your homework. It's crazy, right? And this isn't some random one-off thing. It is a consistent pattern. Watched you can become watch you. Mister can become mister. This is just another one of those little secrets that really unlocks a more authentic, native-like pronunciation. So let's bring this all home. What does this all mean for you as a learner? How do you take all this information and actually use it to make your spoken English better, like today? Now, your first thought might be, wait, if I say I work for them, will people think I'm talking in the present tense? And the answer is a big, resounding no. Seriously, do not worry about being misunderstood. In English, context is king. If you're telling a story about your first job, everybody is going to know you mean the past. So, the most crucial point to take away from our time together is this. You have to start prioritizing natural flow over perfect by-the-book pronunciation. The goal isn't to sound like a robot reading from a grammar rulebook. It's to communicate confidently and really connect with the people you're talking to. This whole thing really makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, if this fundamental rule has such a massive real-world exception, what other pronunciation rules out there are also meant to be bent, or maybe even completely broken? I really hope this was a light bulb moment for you. If you learned something new and useful today, please do me a huge favor and subscribe for more lessons. Also, hit that like button and share this with a friend who might find it helpful. Every little bit of engagement tells YouTube to show this to more people, and we can all get better together. Thanks for being here.